Hi guys, it's me, Skylar Capri. Today I'm sharing with you my predictions for a Halloween collaboration happening at Bath & Body Works. Now, I know we have a Summerween collection currently available, but a lot of my personal research and evidence is showing that there is going to be some type of fall or Halloween collaboration collection. Now, that being said, I am not employed at Bath & Body Works nor any of the other brands that I will be speaking about. I also do not have any ties to them, and all of this information was sourced from publicly available documents, and these are my predictions. So I am not speaking on behalf of any of the brands. This is basically my research on everything that's publicly available, and I'm going to explain why I think this might be happening one way or the other. I do want to disclose that. So if you're returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. We do all things body care related, so if that sounds like something interesting to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get right on into the predictions. All right, you guys, so up first, I'm going to be talking about why I think we're getting another collection with a Halloween theme, and then also why that collection is going to be a collaboration, or at least why I'm predicting that it's going to be a collaboration. First off, starting with why I think we're going to be getting another collection that is officially Halloween, I went on the Bath & Body Works newsroom webpage, which I will always have everything linked in the description box down below if you'd like to read it for yourself. And on June 30th, 2025, they posted their article about the Summerween collection, which is currently available now at Bath & Body Works. Now, this collection includes things like Ice Cream Float, Vampire Blood, Ghoul Friend, really the Halloween themed collection out now. Now, the name of the article says Bath & Body Works kicks off spooky season with viral Summerween collection. It begins to say how Summerween is back and Bath & Body Works is celebrating. They dropped their Summerween collection on July 7th, and then it says Bath & Body Works Summerween collection includes, and then it lists your Ice Cream Float, Vampire Blood, etc., etc. So it's calling the collection that's currently available Summerween, not Halloween. We also have a direct quote from their chief merchant, Betsy Schumacher, and she says, "We're fully embracing this exciting summer trend, meaning Summerween, which is now bigger than ever with an incredible collection of fragrances and accessories which capture the true essence of the spooky season." She then goes on to say that Halloween is one of our customers' favorite times of year, and we're meeting them right where they are with the highest quality, trend-forward products to fit every mood and aesthetic. So I learned and really extracted a couple of things from this article. One, the collection that we're seeing right now, the so-called Halloween collection, is actually their Summerween collection, and there's going to be a separate Halloween collection. The second thing that I learned from this article is that Halloween is a very popular time of year amongst their customers. So I don't know if that's from a sales perspective or they're seeing a really big rise in people maybe signing up for the app or signing up for emails. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I'm taking this as, one, we're going to be getting a separate Halloween collection because the collection currently available is Summerween, and two, Halloween is a very popular time of the year, and they know that, and knowing that, they want to put out a bunch of new fun, exciting Halloween products. So that really covers why I think we're getting a true Halloween, or almost like a part to the collection that we currently have available. Now, why I think that this collection is going to be a collaboration. If you've been shopping at Bath & Body Works, especially over the last 2 to 3 years, up until then, we really haven't seen collaborations in years. Years ago, I think they did like a Disney collaboration, they did the American Girl collaboration, they did like the arts collection stuff. We really haven't seen collaborations in years up until about 2 to 3 years ago, where we saw things like the Stranger Things collaboration, the Bridgerton collaboration, Forever Sweet, we had the Crocs collaboration. Earlier this year, we had the Disney collaboration. We have been seeing a lot of collaborations. Now, in another article, this one was from earlier this year, and it was talking about their Disney collaboration. I have a direct quote from their chief customer officer, and he quotes, "As we continue the momentum of successful brand partnerships, we're committed to creating even more meaningful ways to reach and engage consumers and position Bath & Body Works at the center of culture and innovation." So really the keywords here are as we continue the momentum of successful brand partnerships. Now, I remember earlier earlier this year. I don't know if it was a quarterly report or their mid-years or maybe an investor conference, but they did talk about how they are being really ambitious when it comes to their partnerships and they want to continue on with their collaborations. Also, if you go onto the Bath & Body Works website and you type in Bath & Body Works collaborations, or really just into your search engine search bar, it will come up with their collaborations page and it says new collaboration loading. So for me, I'm thinking, okay, learning what I learned from that Summerween article and then what Betsy Schumacher was saying, Halloween's a really popular time of the year, and the collection that we have right now is not in fact the Halloween one, it is the Summerween one. And then also understanding their overall brand strategy, I'm pulling out that they are seeing a lot of success in brand partnerships and collaborations. They want to continue this momentum, and they've really done 2 big ones this year, so it would make sense for them to do 2 more as we continue into the latter half of the year. That's why I think we're going to be getting a second part to the Summerween or a new Halloween collection, and also why that collection is going to be a collaboration. Now I'm going to talk about what brands I think that they're going to be working with and what these collaborations would look like. All right, you guys, now getting into my predictions for what I think we could be seeing in these collaborations. I really have 2 avenues that these collaborations could go. One, I feel like they could go for much more of the foodie route, and I also think that they could go for a media route. So we're gonna start off with the foodie route first. I predict they could be doing a candy collaboration with a company either like Hershey's or Mars. If you're not familiar with Mars, Mars owns a bunch of different brands. They own a Dove, they own M&M, they own Skittles, I believe. So they have a bunch of candies, really brands under their Mars title. Now, why do I think Bath & Body Works would do this? First, we have seen them partner with a candy company before, and that partnership was very successful. At least I know for a fact in my store, we had that partnership sold out. Also online that we saw really those products sold out as well. And the partnership that I'm referring to is the Bath & Body Works X Sweethearts collaboration we saw earlier this year in January of 2025. It was unique and it was really fun, and I think a lot of people really loved a different take on their Valentine's Day collection. Now, why I think that they could be doing really a Hershey's collaboration or this sort of candy collaboration really comes down into the 2 reasons. First, Chocolate Amber was wildly successful at the Bath & Body Works semi-annual sale haul for 2025. Chocolate Amber has not been seen back for 10 plus years. A lot of people heard chocolate and they were like, this is exciting. This is something that we haven't seen coming out at Bath & Body Works regularly. I do very much believe if they had just brought back another apple fragrance or just another sweet floral fragrance, a lot of people really wouldn't have been excited, but so many people were talking about Chocolate Amber because it's the thrill of that chocolate note, because it's not very popular in Bath & Body Works body care. And of course, if Chocolate Amber did really well, which I know in my store, it was completely sold out at one point. I believe online the Fine Fragrance Mist sold out as well. If that chocolate note is super popular, why wouldn't more people be interested in a Hershey's line? Or maybe you have a Skittles, an M&M's, a Dove's chocolate, some type of candy line. I feel like a lot of people would just be intrigued, even just to go into store and smell it. And then they're in the store, they start looking, and then they do end up buying stuff. Your typical marketing style strategies. Why also do I think that this would be very popular? You have to keep in mind that that Forever Sweet collaboration really came out as part of their Valentine's Day collection. So it was a collaboration attached to a holiday. Now this Hershey's or Mars collaboration would also be attached to a holiday, which is Halloween, which, as Betsy Schumacher said, Halloween is a very popular time for their clientele. So of course, I feel like this would be super fitting. You would have a collection with maybe 3 or 4 body care fragrances, all different candies. You could also do a home decor piece, which is a candy basket, or a body care tray, very similar to what we saw with the Summerween collection. It would almost be like a candy basket or a jack-o'-lantern to put all your candy themed body care in. I think that this would be a really fun idea and something that has worked for them somewhat in the past. So that is really idea number 1. Now idea number 2 and prediction number 2 is going to be that they are going to be doing some sort of media collaboration. And what I mean by a media collaboration, I think they could be partnering either with Netflix or with Disney. Starting off with the Netflix collaboration. Now in March 12th of 2024, they did an article also on their newsroom, which really talked a little bit more in depth about the Bridgerton collection. In that article, they did state that they announced a year-long partnership with Netflix. Now, unfortunately, if that partnership ran only from March of 24 to March of 25, I don't know if that would have given them enough time to formulate products. So that could be really an easy way out that it couldn't be a Netflix collaboration. But I also don't know if that was just for like a manufacturing or an ideation period, that they might have really like let go of the partnership earlier in March, but they're still able to release products since they came up with them prior to that March really expiration date. So we could see some type of Netflix collaboration coming in fall and Halloween. I'm not exactly sure what it means in the context of partnership, if it's manufacturing, if it's ideation, if it's product releases, I don't really know. Now with Netflix collaborations in Bath & Body Works, we have seen a good variety. So we have seen Bridgerton, we've seen Stranger Things, we've also seen Emily in Paris. What I predict for this fall and Halloween collection would be another Stranger Things collection. Now, do I think this on the likeliness scale is going to be at the top? I would say no. Now, I do think there are a couple reasons why this would be popular. I could see because the next season of Stranger Things is coming out this fall, so fall of 2025. A lot of collectors looking for Stranger Things pieces, a lot of people getting back into it. I could definitely see that that would be a big opportunity there. However, with the Stranger Things collections that have happened in the past, we had fragrances like that pineapple pizza candle. We've also had, I believe it was called Eddie's leather jacket, more of these weird and unique scents. And as far as body care goes, I don't know if a lot of people would be intrigued to buy those types of fragrances in body care. However, I do think that Stranger Things as a brand is very strong. It's also very strong amongst collectors. So I could see a lot of people coming in stores and really just buying the products to collect and display rather than use. So that really covers my predictions for Netflix. Now my predictions for Disney. Now, the Disney collection with Bath & Body Works earlier this year was arguably one of the most popular collections that Bath & Body Works has ever done. Now, not only just from like a popularity, product selling out reason, also if you watched the stock market that day, Bath & Body Works stock jumped quite a bit when they were talking about doing this sort of Disney collaboration and partnership. Now, I did see an article back in February that was all about the Disney Princess collaboration with Bath & Body Works, and unfortunately, I couldn't find any news about like this was a year-long partnership with Disney or 6 months or it's extended. I really couldn't find anything about how long a Bath & Body Works x Disney collaboration and really partnership would be, or if the Disney Princesses collection was just a one-off. However, that being said, because they have worked with Disney before, I could definitely see them doing another Disney collaboration for fall and Halloween. I'm predicting that that collaboration would be a Disney Villains collection. The Disney Princesses collection earlier this year was wildly popular with little collectible pieces such as those coin purses selling out completely. It was nearly impossible to get your hands on those after the first 1 or 2 days when the collection went live. So I could definitely see that the Disney Villains collection would be very successful with a very similar style of product availability. So if your typical body care, and then you also have some more of those collector's pieces, whether they be little accessories, pocket back holders, coin purses, the wallflower plugins, some type of home decor piece as well. Now, why do I think that this collaboration would be beneficial for Disney? Arguably earlier this year, because Disney was releasing the new Snow White movie, having the Disney princesses in the Bath & Body Works space could give a bit more traction to going to see that movie. Unfortunately, Snow White was not featured in the Disney Princesses collection, but as she falls under the Disney Princesses sort of franchise as a whole, I could see that being a strategic move on behalf of Disney. Why do I think that a Disney Villains collection with Bath & Body Works would be strategic for Disney nowadays? So if you are really keeping up with Disney at all right now, you will know that recently at Walt Disney World in Hollywood Studios, they really debuted a new stage show called Villains Ever After, which really focuses on villains and makes the villains a more permanent part of your Disney World parks experience. Prior to then, really the villains would only come out for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and I am talking exclusively about Walt Disney World. In Disneyland, I know that they have maybe more villains roaming about quite regularly. They also have a whole different Halloween session or really like events called Oogie Boogie Bash. But focusing on Walt Disney World, they just launched their Villains Ever After stage show. They also have Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which is happening this fall. And they also announced that they are going to be doing a Disney Villains Land, which I believe is scheduled to be coming sometime like 2028 all the way to 2030. So the villains are definitely going to have a more more permanent place in the whole Disney franchise rather than being seasonal. Now, knowing what we really learned all together and knowing what Betsy said about the Halloween time being super popular for the Bath & Body Works clients, a Disney Villains collection makes perfect sense, not only strategically from a Disney point of view, but also strategically from Bath & Body Works, from a stock perspective, from getting new clients, from getting collectors. It's really a win-win collection. Now, if I had to say a total, like this is my number one thing that I will be predicting, I am going to be predicting that Disney Villains collection. I feel like I have the most evidence and the most strategic plays that do make sense for both brands to collaborate on that particular collection. Again, I have absolutely no ties to any of these brands. I am not employed there. I have no insider information. This is all public information, which I have linked everything in the description box down below too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments down below what you're thinking. I would be crazy to see if this actually happened just from my research. But you guys, I'm really excited to see Bath & Body Works in the next couple of months. Very exciting stuff, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.